When an avoidant finally realizes they've broken your heart. The moment doesn't arrive the way movies teach us to expect. There's no dramatic collapse on the floor, no sudden confession of regret, no grand realization wrapped in poetic timing. With avoidance, the truth creeps in quietly, slowly, often painfully late. It begins with something tiny, so small they barely register it at first. A photo of you that pops up while they're scrolling through their gallery. A song they once associated with you but never gave a second thought to. A memory they pushed down so hard that it suddenly resurfaces when they least expect it. Avoidants are wired to shut down their emotions in real time. They don't feel the loss when you walk away. They feel it when the silence becomes undeniable. When the warmth you used to bring is no longer there to soften the harshness of their inner world. That's when the cracks begin to form. Avoidants carry an emotional blind spot that distorts reality. Your closeness feels like danger. Your affection feels like pressure. Your consistency feels like expectations they can't meet. So they sabotage the connection, not because they didn't care, but because caring triggered wounds they never learned to heal. The tragedy is, they never truly believe you'll leave. Deep inside, they assume you'll always bend, always understand, always return. They grow comfortable in the idea that no matter how many times they withdraw, you'll still be there, ready to try again. So when you finally walk away, not out of anger, but out of emotional exhaustion, it becomes the shock they never prepared for. Avoidants don't understand loss until they're standing in the emptiness they created. They don't realize your value until it stops being accessible. They don't understand your love until the door they expected to stay open has been gently, quietly closed. At first they feel relief, and this part is important to understand. Avoidants almost always feel relief after a breakup or emotional separation. It's not because they didn't care. It's because their nervous system is built to fear intimacy. Distance feels like safety. Alone feels like control. They tell themselves they made the right decision. They tell themselves they're better off. They bury themselves in distractions, work, hobbies, friends, noise, anything that allows them to avoid looking inward. But relief fades, always. And when it fades, reality hits them like a silent storm. It happens in moments they can't predict. When they walk into a place you used to visit together. When they hear something funny and instinctively think of sending it to you. When they try to connect with someone new and the emotional spark just isn't there. When they reach for the comfort you once gave so freely and realize no one else makes them feel understood in the same way. This is when the breaking begins. Not loud, but deep. They start revisiting everything they ignored. Your long, heartfelt messages trying to fix the misunderstandings they created. Your patience when they shut down. Your confusion when their silence lasted too long. Your tears, even the ones you tried to hide. Avoidants don't process guilt immediately. They swallow it until it becomes heavy, until it sits in their chest like a stone. And then comes the moment they dread the most, realizing you're healing, realizing you're no longer waiting, realizing they've lost not just your presence, but your emotional investment. This is the moment that shatters them. Avoidants expect you to miss them, even when they didn't treat you right. They expect your heart to still be connected to theirs, even if they pushed you away. They expect you to remain available, even after they chose distance. So when they see you standing on your own, growing, glowing, becoming whole again, it breaks something inside them. Because for the first time, they see clearly that they weren't protecting themselves. They were destroying something real, something warm, something safe, something you were building with everything you had. Avoidants feel deeply, but it's delayed. Their feelings show up long after the moment is gone, long after the damage is done. They begin rereading old messages. They scroll through photos they thought didn't matter. They replay conversations they should have handled differently. They remember the security your presence gave them, a security they never admitted meant so much. And in that quiet, guilt-filled reflection, they begin telling themselves a painful truth. I hurt someone who only wanted to love me. This hits them hardest at night, when the noise fades, when the distractions lose their power, when they're left alone with every thought they tried to avoid. Avoidants often come back, but they don't come back transformed. They come back because they miss the emotional shelter you built around them. They return because your love was a refuge from a world that feels overwhelming. But here's the part they never expect. You've changed. You're no longer the version of yourself who overgave, who explained, who waited. You've grown boundaries. You've learned your worth. You've realized that love shouldn't require you to shrink yourself. This shocks them. Your strength forces them to confront a truth they avoided their entire life. They weren't unlovable. They were unready, and they lost someone who was willing to love them through their darkness. Their regret becomes a private grief, a silent heartbreak they rarely admit to anyone. They see everything clearly, but too late. They understand your love, but after losing it, they realize their patterns, but only after those patterns cost them something real. But here's something even more important. Their breaking point is not your job to fix. Their regret is not your responsibility to soothe. Their realization is not your closure. Your story doesn't end with what they learned. Your story continues with what you became. You didn't just survive what happened. You transformed. You evolved into someone stronger, wiser, more grounded in self-worth. You learned to choose yourself, even when it hurt. You walked away, not because you stopped caring, but because you finally cared about yourself too. The avoidant's final realization is simple, but devastating. Love wasn't the threat. Vulnerability wasn't the enemy. Losing you was. They didn't just lose a relationship. They lost the one heart that showed up when they couldn't show up for themselves. But their realization does not define your path. You do. So lift your head high. Hold your boundaries firm. Walk forward with a steady spirit and a healed heart. The love you gave was not wasted. It simply wasn't meant for someone who wasn't ready to receive it. Your next chapter begins with you choosing yourself, and that is the greatest transformation of all. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment below. Share your story, your healing journey, or your realization. Because your voice matters, and your growth is the story the world needs to hear.